Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you all. My name is Yaseen. I'm an ethnic Uyghur and activist from Uyghur community in Queensland. Today I want to take this opportunity to shed a better light about the current situation of Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims living in occupied East Turkestan, also known as Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region by China. Uyghurs are Turkic people and a Muslim ethnic group living in occupied East Turkestan with other Turkic Muslims. The Uyghurs are native to the land of East Turkestan, dating to at least 6,000 years. The Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslim population in our homeland is still over 60% of total population. The repression of Uyghur Muslims and the restriction of Islamic practices in occupied East Turkestan existed since China annexed East Turkestan in 1949. As a result, thousands of business elites, religious scholars, ex-East Turkestan military personnel, rich Uyghurs, and political activists were allegedly targeted and killed. Hundreds of thousands of innocent Uyghurs were also massacred. Unfortunately, these crimes committed by fascist Chinese regime are given little or no attention at all because of tight media control by Chinese Communist regime. From the very few reports that came out from the region were ignored by global leaders and communities because of the financial gains they're getting from the Chinese Communist Party, or because they are ignoring the facts. China as colonial power have long feared that the Muslim population of East Turkestan will attempt to re-establish their own independent national homeland called East Turkestan, and feared that strengthening the central role of Islam in the lives of Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims will play a major role in the decolonization process. It would abolish China's dream of assimilating Uyghurs into a Han Chinese population, expanding Chinese territories and developing China as the only superpower in the world. China approached this with increasingly harsh security measures to govern the Uyghurs and the other Turkic Muslim population in occupied East Turkestan. Right after 2009 Urumqi massacre, China's harsh security measures against Islamic practices and the Muslims in occupied East Turkestan increased to unprecedented level, and Islamophobia being used to eradicate Islamic practices and the Turkic Muslim population in occupied East Turkestan. At the first, CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, sent officials to every Muslim village, town, and city in the country to collect information about the Uyghurs and the other Turkic Muslims. The CCP's collection of information was focused on family member details, social circle, incomes, and religious activities, etc. By 2014, China used the information they collected and successfully set up the social credit system in occupied East Turkestan to categorize Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims as extremists, risk of being an extremist or no risk of extremism, and increased restriction on the practice of Islam, effectively outlawing expression of faith outside state control. The CCP have imposed bans on having abnormal birds, wearing headscarf in public places, common Islamic names with religious connotations, and consider private religious acts such as prayer, fasting, Ramadan as sign of extremism. One Uyghur woman, Horrifying Nasser, was sentenced to 10 years for promoting the wearing of headscarf. In 2014, the CCP started building new detention facilities, expanding existing detention centers and jails, and started the Strike Hard campaign against Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims. They implemented the daily checking of Uyghur Muslim houses, personal computers, smartphones, and more to find religious materials or content. As a result, thousands of Uyghur Muslims detained and sentenced to long-term in jail. Officials have also confiscated millions of Qurans, Islamic books, prayer mats, and burned those confiscated items. And Turkic Muslims who were caught with these items faced a harsh punishment. By 2017, the CCP built over 300 detention camps, installed thousands of 24/7 surveillance cameras in each city to monitor the Uyghur population in occupied East Turkestan. The same year, the CCP's new chairman of the region, Qing Chuanguo, said, quote, "Islam is a mental disease and officially banned Turkic Muslims from practicing Islam. Even the common Arabic greetings like Assalamu alaikum and the words containing Allah are also banned. Officials have erased Arabic letters from restaurant signage, mosques, street signs, and wall murals. According to the leaked CCP's internal memo by April 2017, over 2 million Uyghur Muslims went through the CCP's political indoctrination camps. In July 2017, a leaked internal memo by Chinese authorities states that 15,683 suspicious persons were taken into custody in a single week in June 2017. They have targeted many prominent Turkic Muslim scholars, imams, academics, writers, journalists, doctors, and entertainers, people who are already clearly highly educated as well as older persons. The reason for arresting these people were men having beard, women wearing headscarf, praying, or wearing Islamic clothes, keeping the Quran, religious books, or religious items at home, sending messages that has a religious content, traveling to Muslim countries, not drinking alcohol, not smoking, having Islamic marriage, attending religious events, burial ceremonies, or having more children, etc. From 2017 till now, over 3 million Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims were arrested and held in over 400 concentration camps and detention centers in occupied East Turkestan. Most of these detainees are male. The detainees in those concentration camps are forced to denounce their Islamic faith, forced to go through political indoctrination. According to witness testimonies, detainees in these concentration camps are subject to starvation, torture, rape, forced labor, forced abortion, forced sterilization, forced medication, organ harvesting, and even death. According to October 2019, RFA, it is a Radio Free Asia, reports over 150 people died in one concentration camp in Kucha County in just a period of 6 months' time. After years of harsh sterilization and birth control policy towards Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims, the Uyghur birth rate plummeted by over 50% since 2017. In some cities like Kashgar, it is plummeted by over 60%. The CCP is not only detaining adults. They are also forcibly separating Uyghur Muslim kids from parents and relatives, sending them to camps and orphanages. According to various sources, over 500,000 Muslim children are sent to orphanages and boarding schools to disconnecting them from their Islamic faith and converting them into loyal subjects who embraces atheism and Han customs. The CCP also collected over 36 million DNA samples and biometric data from Uyghurs and other local people aged between 12 to 65. As part of the regional authorities' intrusive Becoming Families surveillance development and indoctrination campaign, officials impose themselves for overnight stays at the homes of Uyghur Muslims. When many Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslim men are detained, and there are only women and children at home, making women and girls vulnerable for sexual violence. In some cases, Uyghur Muslim women are forced to marry young Han Chinese suitors, many of whom are party officials. Those who refuse to speak ill of these marriages are in more risk of being sent to concentration camps or having family members sent to internment camps. The CCP officials are also pressuring Uyghur Muslims into drinking alcohol and smoking, also setting up crematoria or burial management centers in contravention of Muslim burial traditions. Chinese authorities have also targeted mosques for demolition. According to one estimate, some 16,000 mosques in East Turkestan have been damaged or destroyed since 2017, and about half of those have been demolished. Many of the remaining mosques have been desecrated in other ways, such as through the removal of crescent, by installing framed copies of state policies, and some mosques were changed into pubs or entertainment centers. According to CCP's 2021 report, 231,500 Uyghur homes were demolished. Many Muslim shrines, graveyards, historical buildings were razed to the ground. As a result, over 9 Western parliaments and the House of Commons affirmed that China is committing genocide in occupied East Turkestan. In the United Nations Assembly, 47 countries asked China to stop the human rights abuses against Uyghurs in occupied East Turkestan and requested further investigation, and asked UNHRC to release a long-awaited report about the repression against Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims in the region. The US passed laws and sanctioned some of the Chinese government officials and companies that have links with the Uyghur genocide. The US also banned imports of certain goods from China that may be produced or made by Uyghur slave laborers. In December 2021, the UK-based Uyghur tribunal delivered their judgment that China committed genocide against Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims in occupied East Turkestan. In 2021, Muslim NGOs in the UK started protesting in front of the Chinese embassy in London and campaigning to help Uyghur Muslims and to stop the Uyghur genocide. Now they are expanding their campaign as a global action. It is really inspiring and encouraging. In April 2022, the leaked Xinjiang police files are published on well-known world-famous media outlets, once again exposing China's crime committed against Uyghurs. The Xinjiang police files are leaked documents from the China's internment camps in occupied East Turkestan, including images of detainees, at least 2,800, personal records at least 300,000, records of detainees at least 23,000, including confidential transcript of speeches of government officials from 2016 to 2018. Those documents is available for public online at www.xinjiangpolicefiles.org. Please have a look at it. As we speak, today China is committing genocide against Uyghurs and also other Turkic Muslim population in occupied East Turkestan, and trying to eradicate Uyghurs and the other Turkic Muslim population of East Turkestan at a very fast pace. Now Uyghurs and the other Turkic Muslim population of East Turkestan are struggling to survive from this genocide China is committing against them. Brothers and sisters in humanity, I urge myself and all of you to do something that might help to stop, decrease, or even delay this genocide. We can make awareness by spreading news, documents about Uyghurs and the other Turkic Muslims in occupied East Turkestan on social media platforms. We can try to boycott made in China products as much as we can. Organize or attend protest rallies to be a voice of Uyghurs. Provide support and a listening ear to Uyghurs in your community. Sign petition, write letters to MPs or lobbying political parties in over-respected countries to request governments to put political or financial sanctions to stop the Uyghur genocide. If you have any new ideas or new ways to help, please share with us. At last, I urge you to watch this short video clip that shows some of the Uyghur kids who are forcibly separated from their families and sent to orphanages or government-run boarding schools. Thank you for watching. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you all.